Alright, today we're going to be fixing Super Mario World 2, or Yoshi's Island, as it says on the top of the cartridge. Cartridge is a little beat up. I got this from a friend of mine. She was looking to sell it. I tested it. It didn't test well. It has some artifacts and other issues once it loads up, which I'll show you in a little bit here. But pins look really nice. The label is actually in pretty good shape. And yeah, it just doesn't really work so well. So let's try to fix it. Alright, let's test this unit. You'll see immediately the Nintendo logo doesn't really load up at all. It's having some problems with that. And then there's also some artifacts with the text where it just kind of separates it and it looks really weird. At this point, I do try to take the cartridge out a few times and put it back in, make sure that it was seated properly just to see if it would work. And nope, nothing, nada, nope, nope. Nope, and nothing again. So let's take it to the bench, open it up, and see what's potentially causing the problem. Alright, we're at my repair station. I just opened it up with one of my Gambit screwdrivers here. The inside is actually pretty clean on this, even though the top piece is kind of broken on the cartridge on the outside. And this back has this really weird sticky stuff. I'm wondering if it's some excess flux from soldering, I'm not sure, but the rest of it is actually in really clean, good condition. So I was surprised that this one was having issues because of that. So I just went through, used a little isopropyl alcohol, some 99% stuff to clean up all the different contacts, and then I started cleaning the back of this to remove that excess whatever it is. This stuff was really sticky, so it leads me to believe that it was probably excess flux left over from the soldering process. But I just decided to go through the whole rest of the board and just give it a good thorough cleaning just to make sure that we're starting with a clean slate here and there's no other problems. So it looks nice and clean. Contacts look pretty good. There's a little section here on one of the pins there you can see that it has a little dent, but it doesn't appear to cause any problems with it. It's just something I noticed as I was looking at it, but now that it's nice and clean, let's see if we can pop it back into the housing and give it another test. And testing again, nothing. Didn't help at all. So now I was wondering if there was potentially another issue here. So I got out my multimeter and I started testing some of the pins just to see if they were connecting properly. Didn't see any issues with that, but as I was doing that, I noticed there was this scratch here. It's on the front of the board. I didn't know if it was affecting the traces there or not, but I figured why not test it just to make sure that we rule it out. Don't have any problems with it. Only takes a few seconds. After I tested that and ruled that out, I noticed that there's this little spot of corrosion here on this main chip, the main square chip right in the middle there. I didn't like the way that was looking, so I got a little pair of really small tweezers and a Q-tip with some more isopropyl alcohol. And I just got in there and made sure it was really nice and clean and scrape all that corrosion off, make sure there wasn't anything else in there. Just carefully going through, scraping those little pins to make sure I'm not damaging them, but also making sure that it is clean. And then going back with more isopropyl alcohol in order to clean it up. And then after I got done with that, I noticed on the opposite corner, or the left side of the opposite side of the main chip, pretty much had the exact same thing. It had some corrosion on that bottom little corner there, and I did the entire process again, just scraping through those little corrosion-filled traces, making sure I'm not damaging the board, just using those little tweezers, getting in there, and then getting in there with the isopropyl alcohol, cleaning it, making sure it's nice and dry before loading it back up. And since there was some corrosion on that other spot, I figured just to rule this out completely, I just wanted to buff the main pins of the board. I used a little bit of sandpaper, 320 grit, really fine stuff, just to go over it, make sure that they're contacting properly and they don't have any other issues. Got these looking really nice, cleaned them up with some more IPA, and now the board looks really clean. It's really clean. No issues with any corrosion. I didn't see anything else on any of the other chips. So I loaded it back up into the cartridge housing and it works. Works really good. Load it up. Don't have any more of that artifacting weird stuff. And look at that. The save file even works. Load it up right away. No issues at this point. Game's playing perfect. It just goes to show you that every fix is not equal. And you don't always need to spend a whole bunch of time and do a lot of technical stuff to get a game working. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next fix.